Tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the murk, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures. 3-course meals for dinners. 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different. Cause the bag is different. The tab is...
In fact, try this as well. This is...
What is it? Is it sugar-free?
Water. Yeah, sugar-free.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, excellent. Lemon and... Yes, sugar-free. Because I can't have sugar.
This is going to be great on camera as well. Give your actual thoughts. What do you think about it?
It's really nice because sugar-free, it tastes sweet, but... And I can taste the lemon and lime, which is very rare because usually with sugar-free drinks, it tastes like plastic. Oh, this is really good. Sips. Yeah, come on. This would be nice in a cocktail or something.
Yeah, it's my friend's... actually, do you know H? The rapper H. There's a guy called H. Some white rapper. But my friend, he's got a company called CCV.
Okay.
So Nala's Baby as well. Basically, so what he does is he just finds influencers and then basically aligns the product with their brand.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Get equity and stuff.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like I know you fully after watching all of your stuff.
Thank you.
Yours as well.
Yeah. Well, I live in Kent.
Tottenham Hell. Oh, Kent.
Yeah, Gravesend.
Gravesend.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a real black community down there right now. Yeah.
I live in Gravesend.
They're my friends who bought properties down there.
Yeah, we bought these there. So I live in Gravesend.
A 4-bed you bought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, see, I've done my research.
Scary. That's so scary for me.
Yeah, I've done my research.
Too transparent. The witches are laughing, man.
Okay, cool. 1 second, let me just relax. Well, so did you go to London Bridge then?
No, so I went Ebbsfleet to Stratford and then Stratford to Tottenham Hell.
To Tottenham Hell, okay, yeah.
So it's not like 40, it's like from Stratford, it's like 30 minutes.
Stratford to Tottenham Hell?
Sorry, from Ebbsfleet to Tottenham Hell, it's about 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And Stratford to Tottenham Hell must have been, if it was
10
one train.
minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah, that would be fast. This is like internet dating.
It isn't it?
Yeah,
because
I see your face all the time, but it's like the first time I'm actually get to see you in person.
Exciting.
Okay, cool, sweet. Let's start. Okay, welcome Taila.
Hello.
Or Yasmine.
Yasmine, yeah. Different allies in it.
Yeah.
Well, you know with Taila.
Yeah. So what differentiates Yasmine from Taila?
So
okay,
my first name is Yasmine. Mm-hmm. My maiden surname is Taila. Mm-hmm. When I was in college, I won student president and governor.
What? Student president? I had to digest it. Yeah.
And you know when you're by presidential names, they call you by your surname, innit? So it just stuck. So people just start calling me Taila, and then I just.
And kept it. Okay,
yeah,
sweet. What do people at work and stuff call you Taila as well?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, despite it not actually being your first name, they don't care.
So the reason why they call me Taila is because 1, they ask now like what you want to be called by,
yeah.
And 2, because I like made a brand from like being in tech. My tech is tech with Taila, so that's what they know me from, innit? Taila.
Oh, okay. Well, how I usually have to start is how do we know each other? So this is interesting, isn't it? How do we know each other?
How do we know each other? I follow you on Instagram, innit?
Okay. And do you know when you started following me? Do you remember?
Do you know what? I saw your TikToks, and I was like, this guy looks familiar. And then I just started following it.
You know, you look familiar as well. So maybe I do know you from somewhere else.
Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe I just have a familiar face.
Yeah, it could be that. And I probably have a familiar face as well, innit? Yeah. Well, like I see a lot of your content. I remember just Space Tech Mummy on...
yeah.
So yeah, I remember just seeing you all the time. Because even this whole social media space is completely new to me. So it's like, I'm very much involved when someone likes my content. I'm like, oh, I wonder who it is, isn't it? Like, so I'm like proper into that as well. And obviously I've seen a few of your content that is kind of like really... piqued my interest a lot of the time.
Thank you,
yeah. So I was like, oh wow, especially I think the one you did was Kwame Badu. I think that one was like, oh wow, this is very, very interesting. And obviously I approached you to come on, and then I kind of like to do some research just to figure out, you know what I'm saying? Because I like to have normal conversations, but I like to find out about who I'm speaking to. And so I was listening to your podcasts, and at first I was very kind of intimidated by the Kwame interview podcast one, because only because he had done such a great job in interviewing you, that it was like, oh wow, this is I felt as though in regards to your career and stuff, like he's done a great job. It's like, okay, I can't even go down that route in regards to
it was a really
what
good
you do.
interview,
So I really enjoyed that. But then I was listening to your own podcast, and I was like, oh right, this girl, like, you're very well put together, extremely articulate, and it was just it sounded like you had been doing this for like such a long time. How many podcast episodes do you currently have? Because I can only see 2 of them.
Do you know what? I've had so many people ask me to go on their podcast. I've gone on their podcast, but I've probably done like, I would say over 50. However, I've been doing it since like 2015 when podcast wasn't even there. So I probably have like quite a lot of hidden podcasts that randomly, you know how social media is, a topic goes trending, you said something 10 years ago, and they're just like, oh crap. But I think as of recently, I've done about 10. Yeah, I have 3 on my own channel that I got sponsored to do with Acast Media. The Kwame, I've got 2 with Kwame, I think. No, 1 really long one with Kwame, and then just others floating around places.
Okay, and I think you had one with one girl as well. I forgot which one. Or was that on your one?
I don't know.
Yeah, but are you obviously, because you're a tech babe? Is it a case of you're not afraid of the internet? Because I'm petrified of it.
I am afraid of the internet. You know, I'm not gonna lie, because it's. The internet lives forever. Yeah. And that's the bad thing about it. And I think when you mix
it's good and bad.
It's good and bad, but I feel like when you mix the concept of the internet lives forever and freedom of speech, it's like we're giving people opportunity to exercise freedom of speech, but you're not media trained. So back in the day, I'm pretty sure like people or you or I have said stuff that if you look back, you probably get arrested. Do you know what I mean?
100%. I had to delete my old Twitter account. I deleted my whole Twitter account.
But the thing is, like, when you're now on the internet, it doesn't leave room for error. So that's the only bad thing. But the good thing is that it shows you the importance of thinking before you speak. And maybe I've already exercised that because of the work I do in consulting. So it's like, I just have to do that anyway.
I feel like even that certain times, it's something there. Oh, what going on? Yes, calm, man.
Yeah.
But even me, certain times, I still think that it's still kind of dangerous, because even when you think before you speak, there's certain times there's things I'm saying that at that particular point in time, that is actually what I believe.
What you believe,
at that particular point in time. So I thought about it, but that's who I was back then. And the issue I feel as though with the internet is that I feel like it's a beautiful thing, but
you're stuck in a time capsule.
Yeah, and plus there's a lack of empathy and forgiveness. Like, no one forgives and no one has empathy.
Yeah.
So it's like, if they can actually include that in the system of empathy and forgiveness and understanding that people were young once upon a time and they grew up and changed who they are, and people understanding, then it'll be fine. But it's not
the internet doing that, it's people in it, because we control the internet. So it's a
blessing and a curse.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, but I love it.
Yeah, I know you love it, because as far as I'm concerned, if I'm correct, you've kind of benefited from the internet a lot. How would you say you reckon you benefited from the internet?
I would say visibility. Yeah, I feel like in many ways, like being black, being a woman, being in tech, and maybe being brave enough to be transparent about my journey, my salary, family life, it's benefiting me, because it shows that there's women out there that can look like me, that can break glass ceilings. But and also it's benefited me in regards to breaking stereotypes as well. So that's how I feel like it's benefited me.
You know, it's crazy, because I know, you're Ghanaian, isn't it?
Yeah, Ghanaian.
But had I not, like, if I just made just now, I can see some Asian in you for some reason.
What? Someone said that. I'm just like, no.
Like, for instance,
maybe it's the blue mascara. I don't know.
I feel like, for instance, you could be like what's the word? You know, they say Blackanese.
Blackanese.
Yeah, like I could see a bit of that in you for some reason.
My daughters are kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. Maybe, you know, when you hang around with people too much, isn't it? And
they're my kids,
so you end up looking like them.
They're my kids.
One of the things you went viral for, funny enough, I didn't actually see it myself, but I heard you speaking about it. Yeah. Is basically making 100,000. What was it? Say it again. What was it?
So I can't.
Are you embarrassed by it?
I'm embarrassed by it because it's like I was younger. Well, 4 years younger, but still old enough to take accountability. So it was the first week of COVID. And I had been on Twitter at the time, and I was still kind of like showcasing my brand out there as a black woman in tech, as you do. And I had come across like an American company. And one thing is about American is that they don't believe in humility. They're very out there. They're very avant-garde, right? So I had joined this company on a remote first basis, and they had paid me like a really good salary. And then on top of that, I had a company that I was working for in London.
Well, was that legal as well?
Yeah,
okay,
because
cool,
they weren't like conflicting interests. Because I had done freelancing things before, the tech world knew that of me, but it wasn't something that was bait to people like us. So after kind of like joining that company and making the money, I was making 130k in British pounds combined at the age of 27.
How much was that in what was it, US dollars at the time?
So it was 70 US dollars, which is about 50-ish here, and then my job in London was paying me 80k.
Oh, so so that's sick. That is and were you allowed to actually do that?
Yeah, because like one was through my limited company. No, one was through like an umbrella service, or I was getting paid directly via like Stripe and stuff, and the other one was just normal. And
do they? As in, for instance, did you communicate to any of them that you had another contract?
Yeah, the American.
Wow, man, why would you do that though?
The American company was fine with it.
That's actually amazing, because my first thought would be to lie.
No, because like
I know people on 2 contracts, but they're not transparent with it.
In the American kind of like way, they're very like. So I was part of the open source community, so I would like post stuff on like my GitHub profile. Sometimes I'll get paid for it. So we met online through the open source community. So I was working for the startup and getting paid basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And what happened after you went viral for that? What did you feel like the effect was?
So Americans just absolutely loved it, because it was like, you're a black woman and you're in tech. The company I'm working for loved it as well, because I think it was just off the back of George Floyd. You're a black person. This is our diversity.
It was a sad period, but it was also, I found it a groundbreaking period for black people. I was applying for jobs I had no business applying for when that happened. Yeah. I might even be that audacious to do something like that.
So then I wrote an article about like what I do in tech, how I got there, like my spiritual journey to like kind of knowing myself and Christ. And then I also kind of wrote a breakdown of what I studied in college to uni and what the type of tech that I do. And it went absolutely viral. I think I got like 1 million impressions or something on Medium. I didn't even monetize it because it was just from my heart. It was just after a dull minute. I was just like, I need to share this. So it went viral. Went viral on LinkedIn. It really like helped the trajectory of my career, because I started to be seen as kind of like a thought spokesperson in that field. And even out today, but obviously the community, the hood, they hated it. I then got agitated.
What's the community? The tech community?
No. Like just people, like not black people, but like Twitter.
Okay, how do you feel they treated you?
It was very like, oh, this is cat, or you're boasting, like, you know. And it was just like, I'm not boasting. Obviously now it's popular to be in 100k, innit?
Yeah, but I'm saying in terms of but would you say that was like a minority of people doing it, or was it like people in mass? Mass hate.
It was a lot of people.
And what exactly though? That you
just why are you saying how much money you make? Because you know, like used to be very hush hush over salaries in the UK. So it's just like people still are dying in the COVID, and you're making 100k. Nurses deserve to make that. And then I obviously now to retaliate, I was just like, cool, enjoy the hood.
Wait, you clap back at them like that online? Oh wow!
They were just like, oh, so yeah, it just got out of hand.
Oh wow! So now, like when you when you apply for your jobs and when you are at work, because for instance, what you strike me as from the outside looking in, you strike me as somebody that you know how they say bring your authentic self to work. Yeah. You strike me as someone that is extremely authentic. Yeah. What percentage would you say you are at work?
I would say 80%. The only 20%.
That's still high, you know.
The 20% I hide is maybe using like hood vernacular, like but other than that, I'm pretty much.
Well, so in terms of, do you feel as though your actual normal vernacular, like, is it a case that you change it based on who you speak to, or what is your? Because I feel like your vernacular changes. I can only speak for myself. Yeah, changes based on who you interact with, like automatically almost for some reason.
I feel like maybe as a woman it's different, because even though I grew up on ends, I've never been Peckham, Campbell.
Wow, that's ends,
yeah. So it's like I wasn't really involved in that stuff anyway. But I would say I 20% don't bring my authentic self to work because there's just certain things that I won't talk about or showcase that I have awareness of. But when I guess, working in tech and even like the history of how I got into it, like I'm a big like sci-fi fan, Star Wars, working in tech, people are usually interested in that. So me being my authentic self is like, hey, you're like me, like it just kind of clicks.
But if, for instance, because you're from Peckham and you like Star Wars, did they mention John Boyega to you all the time? Because apparently he's from Peckham as well, and he was in
when
Star Wars.
When it first came out, they did.
Okay, that's a obvious link.
Yeah.
And all I heard, if I'm correct, when did you?
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
Because I was actually listening to a lot of you and Kwame's conversation, trying to figure out kind of like where I fit in, what my relationship with work and corporate is. Because basically, with my actual journey is, I did accounting and finance, 2-1 accounting and finance degree. And then basically no one I knew was getting any grad jobs in finance. It seemed like it was a myth. What was happening was people were then going into like recruitment, estate agencies, like to kind of, I guess no one knew at the time, but I guess they were just building up like their sales experience and stuff, isn't it? And it just seemed, I bear in mind, like my friends and family members are making money in it. God knows what they're doing. But they're just making money and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when you're ambitious in the sense of basically wanting to make money, it's like your brain switches on like just business. Meanwhile, while I was in university, I was throwing like events and stuff.
Would you go Nottingham DMU?
No, I was going DMU. We did coaches from DMU, in fact, isn't it?
Okay,
I did like all those big university parties. So they would have the different like coach parties, picking people up from Leicester, Birmingham, Manchester, and bringing them to like one event. So it was like, I was getting kind of like fast money doing things like that. And the grad job thing, it seemed as though they were just taking, it's from the outside looking in, before it looked like they were just taking people that were in the top universities. So I was kind of, I could say myself, I probably didn't like attempt to go down that route hard enough, because so there was people that was definitely working hard than me. So I definitely didn't even work hard enough. You know, you will see 3 unaccepted rejection letters from applying for jobs, and then you're like, no, I don't like the language of this, isn't it? Unfortunately, you can't. So my vibe was I didn't actually really go down that route. And then basically something unfortunate happened to me where I had a court case, and my court case, which, bear in mind, I'm innocent of. It was a financial court case.
Okay, yeah.
And, just have to put that out there in case people think I've got done for anything.
Yeah.
Like crazy. And it kind of put my career on hold. I've got an accounting and finance degree. I want to go into finance.
Yeah.
And it's kind of put my career on hold because I was on bail for like 18 months.
Yeah.
And, you have to declare whether or not you've been arrested and stuff like that on application forms and stuff. So it kind of made my life at kind of like a standstill for like, say, 2 or 3 years. And then finally, my friends that are starting to get into the finance world are actually getting real jobs. I'm like, oh, wow, it's actually possible. Because I feel like that's a lot of the things back in the day anyway that people were struggling with. It didn't even seem obtainable whatsoever. And then a couple of my friends did a scheme. Have you heard of it called Mountbatten before?
No.
It's a beautiful scheme and it's transformed a lot of my friends' lives, which is...
Oh, Lord Mountbatten.
Mountbatten, yeah. So it's a scheme, but they just took out for the Lord. But it's a scheme that it's like a visa exchange program.
Okay.
So you go to America, and I think in turn they send people to London. You work for basically, I think it's law, finance, and I think it's even tech.
Okay.
That they do prestigious companies down there and actually get work experience living in New York for over a year. And my friends were doing that, coming back, and then straight away they're like VPs of this company, because you're it's not a joke. You're actually doing the work.
That's not a joke. Yeah.
So to the point where I remember I ended up doing it. I ended up going to HSBC in New York. Funny enough, this can't even come out because I'm not even trying to bear it my whole life. I ended up working at HSBC in New York.
Yeah.
Amazing time there, amazing experience. I remember as soon as I got inside there, the imposter syndrome.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're meant to be there.
Yeah. Until you speak to people and then you find out 9 times out of 10, a lot of people don't have no idea
what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They know their job.
Yeah.
That's it. And they don't know anything else. So I want to know because when I'm hearing about your career and stuff, and I'm hearing that you're jumping, because I've got a special sort of admiration for people that actually jump around.
Yeah.
Because staying in one company, there's hiding spaces there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jumping around and showcasing your visibility and your skills to people, that means you know what you're doing, innit? So, like, talk about feeling imposter syndrome. Have you felt it? And how confident are you doing your current role and stuff?
I feel like when it comes to imposter syndrome, so I actually done I was scheduled to do a podcast actually with my old company about social mobility, like social mobility and the power of delusion. Because a lot of people ask, like, how did you at the age of, so I studied artificial intelligence and robotics at uni in 2011 and I graduated 2014. And people are like, how did you even know about that? And what made you, a young black girl from the hood, think, you know what? I'm going to build robots. It's like, that doesn't make any sense to a lot of people.
To build robots?
Yeah.
Did you actually build robots?
For my final year project, I had to.
Wow.
Robot, mini car. Robot.
Oh, and then did it work?
Yeah, it worked. Fast.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So I think when it comes to imposter syndrome, I've always felt it. But I feel like because a lot of people have always been in awe of me and I've always been so eager to learn, it's just I've always been fortunate enough to have what I call a lot of destiny helpers along the way. A lot of people that have wanted to advocate for me and be my allies. So, and also I feel like I happen to work in tech, but I generally enjoy being in tech. I see it as my passion. And sometimes I can't believe that I actually get paid really well to do this because I've been in love with tech and maths since I've been 10.
That just sounds like music to my ears.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't really...
That's so beautiful because I would love to love something and just make money from it. Do you feel right now, you feel like you love what you do?
Yeah, I've been wanting to like do this since 10, innit? So I've got the career of my dreams, basically.
That's so beautiful.
Or my dad's dreams, well, yeah.
Well, your dad, this is your career of your dad's dream. Did you watch iRobot?
Yeah.
Well, did that inspire you in any way?
No, it was Steven Spielberg. He has a movie called AI.
Oh my God. Do you know I watched that movie? Yeah. It's the first movie I've cried over. Do you know why I cried over it?
What?
It was so sad. Yeah, the little boy, as in like, bear in mind, if you're a robot, everyone, you live forever and everybody you love just keeps on dying.
That's what also inspired me and gave me awareness of the concept of AI. Because my dad was really good at maths. So he taught me like algebra at like 7 years old and stuff. Then I just became good at it. And then I carried it on to like, college and university, then
What? And if I'm correct, you were private school?
Nah.
Whoa, when did I hear that? I swear I heard somebody say that.
No, I got a really good SAT levels, like I think I got 3 level 7s or 3 level 9s.
And what year is that?
Year 9.
Year 9, okay, yeah.
And I got accepted to go to a private school, but my parents couldn't pay for the application fee, so I just stayed in the
that's sad.
School. And then I didn't do well in GCSEs because you start to learn how to do your hair and like boys and stuff.
Well, by not doing well because there's levels to it.
I passed, but I was predicted to get like A stars and A's. And
what did you end up getting?
No A's, 1 B, and the rest just all C's.
Bruh. Okay, now that's not bad then. Obviously for some, I know what you're feeling because I actually got decent GCSEs, but I had cousins that were like brilliant. Like so all A's. I'm older than you, isn't it? So, my cousins got all because they don't do A stars. When they did do A stars at GCSEs. What am I talking about? Yeah, I just didn't get any. Yeah. My cousin got all A stars and all A's. So me, I got like a couple of A's and then probably like the rest B's. Yeah. And I'm all not even happy at my results no more. But what? So what did you get at university?
2-2.
Okay, cool. And at what point do you reckon you became a high flyer?
So after I failed my GCSEs.
Stop saying failed!
Okay, not failed. Okay, after I got all C's and not A's, I feel like going from like a straight A student and getting like really good SATs, getting good really mocks, being chosen to go like debating clubs in Oxford and Cambridge, and then kind of flopping or not doing.
And
as
you blame
well as
boys for that?
Huh?
You blame boys?
Not even boys. You just get wrapped up.
Not being serious.
Yeah, not being serious.
Did you study though?
Not really.
Oh, okay. I feel like there's obviously it's kind of silly not to study, but I feel like it's a vibe when you know you didn't work hard.
So I'm not seeing it. But I think after the level of disappointment that I brought my parents and my school, it sounds like after the level of disappointment, it kind of just made me think, wow, like I know who I want to be. I know the life that I had. And funnily enough, I actually had a not work experience, but I was chosen to go to one of the big fours to do like a 2-week.
Which big four?
PwC.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, and then you went back. Oh, that's a circle moment. Yeah.
So I got chosen. So I think coming from like the hood and being and seeing other stuff, I was like, I need to make sure that I can achieve that in future. So by the time I got to college, I just kind of went back, and hence why I became like student president, went back to Oxford and Cambridge to do like more debating clubs and stuff.
Wow.
And then I got a scholarship to do my degree.
Oh, wow. Now, you see, when you apply for jobs, how honest are you on your CV?
Very honest. So I started working before I went to uni. So so what happens is that you go, obviously you do your A-levels, get your results, and then by May comes, you finish college in it. I started working June 2011.
Working as what, exactly?
So I was a junior sales network engineer.
Fucking hell. What? How? What made you even think to do that?
So I wanted to save up money to go to uni to like pay for accommodation, because I missed the time where I can go into halls. Obviously can't ask parents for money. So even though my mum helped me, so what I did was that I started my career doing field sales, like knocking on people's door, like have you got hyper optic? Do you know what Wi-Fi is? And then I used that experience to work for a company on behalf of Sky, where I was like diagnosing people's network issues over the phone and upselling them.
Okay.
So by the time I got to uni, every summer holiday in uni, I would go back to work, and by the time I graduated, I got a actual job because I had about 1.5 to 2 years experience.
Bruh, man, that's was this all like planned out on? Did you plan all of this out?
It just kind of happened, you know.
Yeah,
so
you're really blessed. It sounds like
I was a working student, basically. Yeah.
Right, that's a vibe. So okay, so after you've so after you've graduated now, how did you get your first big job?
So graduated. And I got my job the last day of my last exam. So before I graduated, based on the work experience I had before.
No way, the last day of your last... Wow. Okay. Yeah. Right, so you didn't go through some of those horror stories. And in terms, because you mentioned earlier that you're very, basically, you're very spiritual. Yeah. You're in touch with God. When did that journey start?
I would say I've always been quite spiritual, but I fell more into like my spiritual journey around 2018.
What, did something significant happen that made you get there?
I don't know, man. I think what we call a spiritual awakening, or some could say psychosis. I don't know.
Okay.
But just like started seeing like double numbers, 1111.
What does that mean?
Just like if you see double numbers, it's a sign from God. It's very like spirituality based, and then obviously got closer to Christ and stuff. And I think when I started to find my self-esteem in Christ and not necessarily of the things of the world, I kind of looked back at what I've achieved. Not just career-wise, but just in life in general. So it's like, I have broken so many stereotypes because of my esteem in Christ and not what the world says I should be. So that's how it kind of started.
Well, how do you go to church currently?
No, not anymore.
Well, when's the last time you've been?
Oh gosh, last time I went to church.
Yeah,
when I was married.
I don't. Boy, I haven't been in ages.
Actually, no, that's a lie. Last time I went to church was last Christmas.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I haven't stepped foot inside of a church in ages. I did online churches, isn't it? But I haven't physically been in ages. Now, when you were younger, what obviously being African, obviously you got the pressure of leaving university, getting a husband, having children. What were your ideals like growing up? What did you think life looked like?
I've never been asked that before. So I feel like because I got wrapped up to adult life quite quickly, I feel like it was obviously husband and kids, but I never thought I would get married before 30. I always thought I would get married after 30. So that's one. I'll get back to that. I've always wanted to be a career woman. Yeah, I've always wanted to be a career woman.
Well, what do you reckon inspired that? You reckon it was what your father instilled in you early, or?
Yeah, I think it's what my dad instilled in me early, and because I generally saw that I could actually have a future of doing something that I love, I've always just liked the idea of not being an independent woman, but just going to. I just like working. There's so many jobs that I've done that I'm not even qualified to do. There was one time, yeah, honestly, there was one time I got one of my highest contracts ever, right? And but they said, because I have to go through like clearance and check-ins, it's going to start in 2 months. I have the money to stay at home, but instead I just went online, and at the time I was living in Croydon, logged into the job portal in Croydon Council and became like a tree surgeon.
A tree surgeon?
Yeah.
What the hell? What does that even mean?
Like Croydon Council was having issues with like planting trees, so I just.
And wait, and
just what for fun.
See, are you not intimidated by job descriptions?
I feel like not in a cheeky way, but most of the times if I apply for a job, I always kind of hit it. However, what I used to do is that if I know that there's a certain salary or job description or job title that I want in the future, I'll Google the job description or the job, look at it, and I'll apply. And then I'll get the email back of the recruiter, add them on LinkedIn, call them and be like, hey, I've seen this job, blah, blah, blah. And what you'll find out is that nobody ever hits 100% of the job description. But just as long as you've got experience and you hit 5, is either they give you the job, they keep you on their radar, or they'll give you the junior version of the job. But either way, you can't go wrong.
Oh, right. Okay. That's you know, it's crazy because I've heard that a lot of men tend to do that. As in, apparently the pattern seems to be women wait till they basically qualify for each, whereas a lot of the time where men certain times just like they're just tired, they don't give a fuck no more, and they just apply for the
I feel I developed that trait because working in tech is a male dominated industry, innit? So I guess there's certain
so you feel like some of they've rubbed off on you. And what was the other question I asked? I said so that's what you expected life to be like before. You're going to get married after 30 years old. You didn't see yourself. Okay, cool. Now, currently right now, what age were you when you got married?
28.
Do you know, let me tell you the assumption of online as well, innit? I bear in mind, like I said, always go back to the fact that this is made for you to put out what you want to put out, isn't it? Yeah. So this is just a normal conversation we're having. What was it? Looking online, I was on like some emotional roller coaster, isn't it, with you online, because I was like, online, for some reason, no one asked me why, but for some reason I was convinced, that you was single.
I'm single now.
Yeah, that's what I was convinced at the time.
Yeah.
Now, what happened was, I was listening to your, what's it called? All your podcasts and stuff. And then I was like, shit. At the time, obviously, I don't know when these were. Yeah. I was like, she's in a relationship. She's married. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then, basically, I'm like, wait, she's, separated.
Yeah.
And then basically, I think you posted something, yesterday.
Yeah.
That, was on a vibe of, what was it? Oh, shouldn't you be embarrassed? So I was on a vibe of, so when I looked at that, this is me. So
what's going on here?
My brain was all, so just clear up with me. Currently right now, I think, cause I watched one, you're currently going through the divorce.
Yeah.
Now, because obviously you see, this is the crazy shit about the internet. You know too much about somebody. Your little one is, 4 months old, isn't it?
5 months.
Just 5 months.
Yeah. Just 5 months, yeah.
So it's like, is it okay? And like divorce is obviously it's kind of like a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah,
it has like an emotional toll on you. Is it a case of, because obviously because your little one's so young?
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, I know. Yo, you beautiful children you've got, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. So, I get very, very broody as soon as I see it.
Everyone's just like, it's making me want some more kids.
Yeah, and they're just so well behaved. They're just like all around you all the time, isn't it?
That's what you see in it, right?
Yeah, so my vibe is, in terms of, because obviously a relationship can implode or explode whenever. But I was thinking, the young one was so young that maybe even if you're separated, maybe there's
going to be hope.
Yeah. But I'm saying, because divorce is so final though.
Yeah. No, that's
No, okay, fair dues, isn't it?
Yeah, we're amicable, but yeah, separated.
No, okay, cool. And what, do you have any regrets in getting married that early then? Seeing as you said before, your vibe was you didn't, that's what I'm saying. If you're visioning not being married until...
And then it happens. Do you know what? I don't regret getting married at that age because I don't think 28 is young.
Yeah, it's not really, innit?
I wouldn't want to be like, oh, I was too young.
Yeah.
Chapter 5 of my book, to a millionaire. No. I wouldn't say I was too young, no. At all.
So in terms of... what, do you plan on getting married again?
This is a good question. I'll see you speaking to Kwame about it.
I think I saw some of that.
I think the good side of having a great career is the finances that come with it. But then the bad side is that you're more at risk. So I think being a woman who...
Oh, shit!
Yeah.
Oh, no! Wait, hold up. How does that work? Because I hear about it in America. Wait, did you make significantly more than him?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Is he going to try and take...
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's not. Luckily, the baby saved me in it. But
why would the baby save it? Because you get custody of them as well, isn't it?
But I feel like it's so hard because obviously I wanted to be married. I was married. It didn't work out. But even in my dreams of if I wanted to be married, I now have to see marriage for what it is, which is a business decision. And it's like...
That's kind of sad, isn't it? It removes the fairy tale.
It removes the fairy tale. So it's like... especially now having kids, I work harder and obviously not over six figures, but mid six figures. I've got assets. I've been able to do well in that sense. Anybody that I marry...
Wait, mid six figures?
Not mid, like over 100k, yeah. So anybody that I marry can basically take half. And that's only supposed to be for my kids. So it's like, if I were to get married, it would have to be married to somebody that financially has as much to lose. But obviously, if you are deemed to be in the top 5% or 1%, I'm going to take myself out of the dating market if I'm like, I only want to date a man on this. So I'd rather just not get married unless God blesses me with somebody.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, it's crazy because when you bring... The sad thing about doing all of this is obviously your logic has probably gotten you to where you are now, isn't it? But certain times when it comes to like marriage and love, certain times...
There's no logic.
Yeah, it's probably best to be illogical, isn't it? Because when you do the maths, it's kind of scary, isn't it? Like, what everybody wants. If everyone was to say, you know what, I want someone that's doing this, that's doing that, that's doing that. And if you actually look at the numbers, it almost looks impossible. So certain times, like... It's just probably best to just live life, keep doing your great things that you're doing. Obviously, like if someone comes along and you feel as though they're trying to sponge, or I feel like most people, especially in your position, most guys will probably be pretty understanding of like some of those like prenuptial conversations that are extremely.
What I've noticed is like I think. Being kind of like this generation, and maybe we are the first kind of generation where black women visibly can make money in six figures. What I've noticed is that we get the benefits of feminism, but we are still victim to patriarchy. So if the tables were turned and I was a man on six figures, that's when you would say it's cheaper to keep her because you have to pay spousal support, child support, you know, the wife gets the house. But when you're in the other foot now, and you've got the vulnerability of being a woman, you've got the vulnerability of having the kids, and then you out-earn your soon-to-be ex-partner by a mile, you are at risk of losing everything and then being vulnerable to kids.
That's mad,
so I definitely feel like one day when I'm brave enough, I would love to get other women who are of the same position or even more and be like, what are your realities of getting married? Because at that point, you can just ruin your life.
But it's one of those ones. But the reason why sometimes this is very, very rare is because 9 times out of 10, girls don't tend to date someone. How did that even happen? How did you manage to date someone that you out-earned considerably?
Well, at the time, because when I met him, even though I out-earned him, I was a contractor and he was an entrepreneur. So it's kind of like I felt we were on the same level because contracts are here and there, entrepreneurship is here and there. So, and I didn't have any assets.
Okay.
So it was still at that point where I can earn this, he can earn that, but we're still young. We're going to grow together. Any assets we will make by God's grace will be together. Whereas if I had met somebody now and I'm coming with a 4-bed house and a property, then it's a bit different.
Wait, so when you did the combined, bear in mind, this is going to link in so much with, because I've taken in all of the information before. So did you guys go to the house together?
This one, yeah.
Yeah, so you go to the house together, but I think you mentioned that basically I think was the majority of the deposit yours or all of the deposit?
So we went half on deposit, but he was fortunate enough to get a gift from his parents, which is cool. But the affordability to get my house was based on my salary. So I only had to show proof of what I earned.
And in terms of how did the mortgage payments work at the time? Were you both just paying?
Yeah, half. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess splitting is kind of easy in theory, then, isn't it? Oh, wow. Wait, so how do you... Because it's one of those ones, it's hard. If you're someone... Because I know some... in fact, one of my best female friends, she's just had a child. And her child is... In fact, had her first birthday already. Yeah. So in terms of... You having a 5-month-year-old, certain times, I know emotionally, certain times, like, girls can be vulnerable, but also during that period of time, also going through a divorce. Yeah. As in, like, it looks like online, it's like, oh, you put on a brave face, isn't it? But how difficult are you actually really finding some of this stuff? That's
a really good question. I feel like, I guess, coming from where I've come from, I'm naturally quite logical and optimistic because in my head it could have just been worse, innit? It could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Facts, 100%.
I could have lost half of my savings, my pension, had to pay spousal support. It could have been worse.
You could be broke. You could be on the street.
But it's not. Yeah. And I feel like maybe there's a level of accountability I've taken as well in regards to not necessarily how we got here, but just maybe things that I didn't see, maybe things that he didn't see. But I think overall, because I know women that look like me that happen to be single moms, how they could be, and I look at where I am now, I'm just like, hey, the game's the game, innit? Like, I'm just naturally that kind of person, innit? So there are times when I am sad, of course, but then there's other times I'm just like...
Sad about what exactly, though?
Do you know what it is? I think it was more so the stigmatization that comes with divorce. Because I think when you're in a predicament where people look at you that you've broken so many glass ceilings, I think the hardest glass ceiling to break is being a single mum. So even though to some I'm doing a good job, it's like we all know the red pill content. The hardest thing to be as a black woman is a single parent because you're just shown no grace. So I think that was one of the things I was quite nervous or curious as to how it would be kind of like being outside in that sense. Like, would you just now be reduced to like a baby mom or like how would it be?
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because it's one of those ones where 9 times out of 10, most things in life, like your job that you can be independent about and do it yourself, isn't it? But when it comes to any sort of relationship, anything, you're not in control. It takes 2 people to actually be part of that. Even if you wanted to hold on to it and stay, it's not even, in your... And you know what's crazy? Something else that I've noticed about you as well is it looks like... Because I got basically when I was in New York, for some reason I ended up stumbling upon a mentor that I didn't ask for, but I was reading the book at the time that said, you know what, it's probably good to just have a mentor. And like you said, you mentioned earlier having people to like fight for you. And so I got a mentor, and one of my mentors told me something in regards to one of the things that stuck with me, it was in regards to like personal brand. And protecting your personal brand. And I feel as though you're somebody that has you've got a personal brand. And it looks like you, like even based on what you're saying right now, like you hold that quite dear to you. Now, I think I heard something because I was listening to you kind of like podcast. I heard you say previously that something along the lines, isn't it? So I'm going to probably butcher this because it was something along the lines of your certain times when you pick a partner, sometimes you pick them based on like whether or not they can. It might not even.
I know what you're talking about. Picking a partner. Sometimes there's that level of not curiosity, but fear of like, will they be able to like be in my environment? So
I'm saying in terms of. So that was kind of like the personal brand aspect of it. So are you saying that right now it's like a case of people know that you were married, and are you like curious as to what that does to your personal brand now?
And the thing is, like, I didn't even see. I'm very kind of maybe I'm absent-minded a bit when it comes to social media. I didn't think I popped like that until one day I woke up and I was like, oh, I've got 5,000 people following me. It's not a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Especially on Instagram, though. There's stush people. So
I was just like, wow, like people really like like I'll listen to what I say. I was just like, wow. So I didn't see myself as a brand in it. But then I think looking at maybe how my life is portrayed on social media, like married, 6 figures, house, kids, is like, wow, like da-da-da. So when I kind of like announced that me and my partner or like ex-partner was separated, it was more so fearful of the brand, not because I felt that people would not like me. But I think sometimes I didn't want to now have a new personal brand that's like, well, she's getting a divorce, strong single mom on 6 figures. Like I didn't want to do the whole I'm independent, don't need no man vibe because and I feel like
I feel you. But it's one of those ones. But certain times, like being vulnerable and being open and honest, everybody will just respect that regardless. Yeah. Because it's like nobody's life's gonna be perfect. Everyone goes through like peaks and troughs as well, isn't it? So it's like I don't think that will affect you. And I don't know who. Like, where does the stigma of baby mum come from? As in, like, who's created it, really and truly?
I don't know, because, like, back in the day, like, baby mums were more so based on the caliber of man you had a kid with.
Okay, yeah.
Like, if you had a baby with a nerd, no one's really calling you a baby mum. If you had a baby with a road man, but now it's just anything.
And it's funny, people really don't like the word. Like, certain times, I'll be, like, saying a girl, if you call someone that is literally your child's mother, like my baby's mother, people don't even like the word. It's almost like it's like a slur now, isn't it?
Yeah, no. I think sometimes it's just easier to say the mother of my child, isn't it?
Yeah. And what? So what do you think, like, what negativity do you reckon could potentially come with that out of interest, isn't it?
But I haven't. I don't know. I think it's just being a single parent that I was just like, oh my gosh, like scary. And I think it's also the injection of red pill content on social media. Like if you're a single parent, you have no values, and I'm just thinking,
okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's you've got 2 children.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I haven't had any backlash so far.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Certain times, like a lot of things are said on the internet. That's why certain times it's best just to switch off and just
I haven't had any backlash. Yeah. I actually had one of the guys from the Red Pill community message me like from the interview, just like, I'm not gonna lie, like obviously, I know you appear single, but like I actually respect you.
What? Like, wait, how do you know he's from the community?
Because he has lots of podcasts about like baby mums and stuff like that.
Oh, do you know what's crazy? I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
Certain times, you know what? Like certain times, like what I don't like about that community. Certain times, bear in mind, a lot of the things that a lot of these people say is actually logical, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's logical. But my thing is, certain times, like, why does it need to be said?
Again and again.
Yeah, as in, like, why are you...
Like, sometimes he'll just be talking and then the conversation will just lead to, like, but you know these baby moms are like,
Yeah, but it's like, to the point where, okay, cool. You know what? That point over there you're saying is right. But it's almost as though, why do you feel the need for this to be your message, isn't it? If you don't like something personally...
His point is that women who are baby moms are the downfall of the black community or the community because you're given access to... You're not allowing men to raise their standards.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't really get it. It's one of those ones. If you feel so strongly about it, there's like, billions of women in the world... Cool, just don't pick the one that you don't like and then just keep it moving. As in, like, it doesn't need to be like, it's not like the gospel that needs to be like preached around to people. Yeah. So it's like a funny one. Feel free to answer your phone. Yeah. What was it, the au pair?
No.
You see?
That's like, what?
Yeah, so wait, why did you feel as though having an au pair was like one of the best arrangements for you?
It's just help at home, innit?
4-bedroom house as well, I guess, isn't it? There's an extra room.
Extra house, their own bathroom and stuff. So I just thought, why not?
Now, in terms of, obviously, you're a 6-figure earner.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any, what's the word? Do you have financial insecurity?
Yes.
And what form does that come from?
So funny. So my financial insecurity is more so rooted in the fact that, so the more money you earn, the concept. So for me, class has never been about how much money you have. It's about the stability of your money, which is based on so many factors. And most importantly, your family background. My family background, I come from a working class environment. So the money that I earn is dependent on the work of my hands.
I was at the working. Okay, yes.
Yeah, so like working class, yeah. My financial insecurity comes from the fact that regardless of how hard I work, where I am, my qualifications, all it has to take is one person in an organization that most likely is white to not like me, and I'm managed out and I'm gone. So it's like, even though I make a lot of money, there's still that aspect of having to play the game, and there's still that aspect of fearing that if somebody in the organization that happens to be white doesn't like you, you're just out. And obviously that pressure is more now because, you know, you want to benefit off the fruit of your labor. But when you've got so much prejudices and biases against you, it's like, I feel like I can never really enjoy it. And when I do enjoy it, it's mostly tied to things like an asset, a house, or an au pair to help. But I would love to be splashing out on rollies and stuff, even though I can afford it. But then it's like, well, I'm about to go to work next week and I'm redundant. Or
okay, so do you reckon it kind of it kind of curbs you from spending in a way that you would probably like to spend?
I would say I always have to have double of what I spend.
Okay, but in regards to like for instance, this is kind of like my measure of how long do you reckon you can live your life right now if you was to stop working today?
Because I'm on maternity, or not maternity.
No, you're not maternity. You're not being paid by nobody.
Yeah.
So if your job stops right now, have you got a mortgage currently? Yeah. Okay, cool. You got a mortgage currently. You all your bills. I think your daughter's in private school now, isn't it? Look at me, just knowing you in here. How long can you do this?
Yeah.
Without having a job?
6 months.
6 months. Oh, okay, cool. That's still all right though. But yeah, I'm saying you have to work, innit?
Yeah, I have to work. Yeah.
Well, so what do you reckon your biggest expenses? You reckon it's probably private school? Yeah.
Kids.
But in your kids, would it be the schooling aspect of it? How much is private school, in fact?
So it ranges, it depends. So it goes up at like maybe £150-200 a month every year. So maybe at the moment I can pay like
£150 a month.
Yeah.
£150 a month?
No, it goes up. So like maybe you'll pay a minimum of like £600 a month.
Okay.
For like nursery. Then reception would be like £750. And then year one you'd be like £8.
No way.
But no way. It stops at like, depending on the school in it, because I've seen some like can be
how can they do that?
£7,000 a term.
What, so cumulatively they had in a £150?
So secondary schools is £6,000 to £7,000 a term. So year 6 to year 9 is like £6,000 a term, and then year 9 to like year 11 is like £7,000. That's the most expensive I've seen. Preschool is like nursery to primary is like maybe stops at 4.5, 5.
Wow.
A term every 3.5 months.
Well, you reckon you're going to take them into... Is the plan to take them into, what was it, secondary school, private school?
No, I'll probably go grammar school for that.
You know what? Because I was thinking that. I would probably rather a smarter child, in the earlier years to build up their confidence.
Exactly,
and then leave them into the grammar school where they're killing it.
But then that's what makes it kind of more scary, because it's like, you go to work, things happen. When I was younger, I had that bounce back energy where I can go to work, a manager's pissing me off, get a new contract. Or go to work and someone's trying to mess with me, and you stick with it because you're distracted by your friend's got a drink up on Saturday. But now it's like, you've got the pressures of like maybe a failure of a marriage, and you've got the pressure of kids, and it's like, you go to work and your prejudices and your biases are taking food out my kid's mouth. So it's a different mental game.
It's like, you know what? If I didn't have children I had to look after, I wouldn't even tolerate.
But the thing is, like, they sometimes can know that, and it's like, but even if you don't, like, the fact that
do you reckon people take that into account sometimes?
Oh yeah, like I do feel like I've heard a lot of stories when people are working and they know that you've got responsibilities, they know you're willing to do more in it.
Oh, rah. Now, obviously, you mentioned this on another podcast. Well, it's quite obvious, isn't it? One, you're a woman. And you're black. In terms of in the Prejudice Olympics, like, what do you reckon is obviously you said your relationship with God has kind of supersedes all of that. But if you've noticed anything, like, do you think the racism hits more, or
I couldn't tell you, because I think knowing that tech is such a white male dominated field, I face all vertices. I face classism, ageism, sexism, racism.
Right.
It could be anything. So
and have you felt it?
Yeah, like even like in the current role I am, I'm the youngest black. I'm the only black. No, I'm the youngest black partner. I'm just the youngest in general partner. And then and most organizations,
are there black partners there?
Yeah, 2.
Wow, that's crazy, because even obviously with blackness.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
I remember one time I did a little exercise, isn't it? Looking around, director level, okay, cool, you see like a bunch of women there. But once you get to look for partner, I remember I was struggling.
It's like 2?
I remember looking on my floor. I don't think there was a female partner. Black one, get out of here, isn't it? Maybe senior manager. You might sneak a few.
I was the youngest senior manager at BBC.
Oh wow!
I made senior SM at 29. No, 28.
Oh wow!
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember looking around the organisation. I'm thinking, like, one, there's no women in my floor anyway. There was no women partners.
Yeah.
Director was Max, isn't it? Black women,
It's
black
far
partners
in
as well
between.
was none. Black directors on my floor, I didn't see any.
Yeah.
Black directors, yeah, and it's almost like the ceiling looked like it was senior manager at one point, isn't it?
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't know how intentional that is.
It's crazy because, like, even when I got SM, it was like a big thing, and I didn't get out to start why. But yeah, even when I went to like my induction when I first started, I was like, there was 2 black people there, me and another guy, but everybody else that was SM was like either white or minimum 35, and I was like 28.
Wow. And wait, how do you find that? You see the ageism aspect of it. What is it kind of like what you say, like an infantilization of you?
Yeah, I feel also because people still feel like I look younger than 28. So it's like they kind of, it works in my favor in it because I guess there's an aspect of looking like a kid that's keen to learn. Yeah.
But is it a case of sometimes, like, do you feel sometimes like being patronized? Like, oh, okay, you can handle this little client over here. Get your feet wet.
I feel like regardless of how much money I have, or like not money, but the position I hold, I always have to. I'm always going to be infantilized to a certain point because it's like you go to work, and some people you're the same age as some people's kids. Especially like partner level, like I'm working with someone that's like my dad's age or like my mum's age, and some people like it and they take you under their wing, and some people absolutely hate it.
And how would you say, basically, because obviously I'm assuming that being is an associate partner, you've got directors that are subordinate to you. Wait, what's the word? Insubordinate?
Lower.
Lower than you. Yeah.
Yeah. So So it depends. Like there's associate partner. There's partner, associate partner, then senior principal, then principal. Yeah. So senior principal is kind of like director.
Okay, cool. And do some of them report to you?
Yeah.
Now, how is that relationship then, innit? Because sometimes there might be some guys or girls over there that they're looking at this young person and they're like,
that girl from the hood, like,
how do they treat you?
Do you know what? Because I'm just my authentic self.
Yeah, that's what, you know what? Some people are not, I'm not going to lie to you, yeah? And it pains me to say this, yeah? Some of the worst people I've had report to, for some reason, have been black and Asian women for some reason, isn't it? But the key part of it is because I can see they're pretending to be somebody that they're not.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
I recognize from very early in my career that I would never be a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman. So there's no need to do that. I'm just myself, innit? And I think they kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Like fresh eyes is different, fresh energy. I don't try to boss people around. I can be assertive and logical, but
how does assertive look when you're doing it?
Just
like simple. Like basically, have you done so and so yet?
Yeah, so I'm a big advocate for like humanizing tech, talking to people like humans, because I know that in the tech industry it can be very black and white. And when you work in consulting, you're referred to as a resource. Call people by their name, innit?
Yeah. Oh wow. Shit. Yeah, you're right. But I'm saying that, for instance, like, so when you're serving someone, because really, like you say, it's very, very logical. Like, someone promises they're going to do something, just do what you said you're going to do. And if you don't do it, pull
always
somebody up on it.
Always under promise, over deliver.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking, but what I was finding, there was some people, it was almost like, and you know what's hard for me to see? It's hard for me to see this in anybody in the workplace. When people follow the chain of command so like vividly, where it's like you are such a mean person to everybody underneath you, but the people above you, you're such a nice person too. It looks weird. If you're just respect that everybody are human beings, isn't it? Yeah. Then it's like, oh, that's a vibe. But you can't have somebody just be a monster to you just because of their position, isn't it? Like, and sometimes when you see it, it's just like, it's hard to like those people.
Especially when you're a person of color. It's like, I don't think a lot of white people take it easy to know that.
And there's also always the battle. Obviously, you know you're black. you know, certain times someone's pissed you off, but it's almost though you're holding down. It's almost like you're responsible for all the black people in the world for not being angry at this person.
I've learned to my first job. I remember getting so ticked off with somebody. I was like, "Can we speak outside?" And they're thinking, "Whoa." So now you have to learn corporate jargon. Please check your email or send a CC email to HR and stuff. So I feel like one day I would love to write a book on like just how to navigate corporate.
Oh, I would definitely buy it because it's a certain times it's a real struggle. Even for certain times when you're applying for certain jobs, yeah. You know, what's that test that they do called? Is it you know, the perception test? It's one of those tests, yeah, where the scenario based tests. Basically, it's like my brain is so messed up here from being. I know who they want me to be on this particular questionnaire, but it's not actually. It doesn't actually align with my actual values, isn't it? So, for instance, they've got questions like. Obviously, I know the company I'm working for is not my father's company, is it? So, for instance, you know where it says, "Oh, you suspect a colleague might be doing some dodgy dealings."
Yeah.
Do you A, report it to blah 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 blah? My actual opinion is basically just to assume that they're not doing anything wrong, especially if it doesn't affect me directly. Mind your fucking business, isn't it? Yeah. Let somebody else do with it. But that's not the right answer to put down on one of these forms. They want you to say, "Oh, tell a member of staff, put up or call the whistleblowing helpline and let them know."
It's stuff like that. You just have to know in it. Even like if you're working with somebody, if you have a friend that works at another consultancy, they're your friend, but you can't tell them of the projects that you're working on.
Yeah,
it's just stuff like that. But you just get arrested, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's like all of the stuff like that. It's obviously those ones you can understand, isn't it? Like all of the conflicts of interest. But there's certain things that are like just telling random, like snitching on members of staff that you're not even certain if what they're doing is wrong.
Talking about
and it's like like.
But a lot of black people get caught out because you have to read the handbook, fam.
Do you? I've never read a word unless it's time for me to sue or something.
When you're like passionate about your company, you know what I mean. Like you put your time in, your time sheets, and you think about the integrity of the company that you're working for and the clients that you have in it.
What did you? What was it? How were your time sheets always filled in accurately and all the time? Yeah. Is it all the time?
Because I always want to make sure I'm billed properly. I'm billing and my hours and I'm being utilized in it.
Okay. And what was your utilization like?
Because I was like working on assets. My utilization wasn't that high, to be honest.
Oh, okay, cool, but it was justifiable, wasn't it? To what you're doing.
Internal work and all that.
A lot of people time as like just spending. Okay, cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
I liked it.
Fuck all of that shit. I can't stand that shit.
I like it.
I can't. All of the, certain times, it's funny because I do this stuff now, isn't it? Yeah.
So this is quite therapeutic, so I'm surprised you don't like it.
Yeah, no, but it's one of those ones. Certain times, I'm doing this on my own accord. I invited you down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very, very informal and big because obviously you said you're 80% yourself at work. Yeah. At work, I'm telling you, I am 20% myself in the workplace.
Okay.
And it's like, and it's the best 20% that I'm willing to give. Certain times I'm such a what's the word? Like at work, I'm such a neek. And because I know you know that terminology. You said neek a couple times in your interviews, isn't it? Such a neek, basically in the workplace. That certain times I reach a boiling point, and it's like. Certain times, as soon as I do a bit, it's not even big pushback, small pushback. They're like, "Oh my god!" Everyone's face just changes, like I've turned into the Hulk or something, isn't it? Yeah, man, I can't.
Perception.
Yeah, but it's one of those ones. Well, so wait, how you founding your new company now?
Ladies and gentlemen, this part of the conversation is too spicy to come out.
You're really out there on what was it? Obviously, this part might not come in it? Yeah. But you're really out there on socials, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you add people from work on your socials? Or like, what's the balance of that?
They add me. I haven't got in trouble with my socials. I didn't feel like I put anything crazy. They love it. They just think I'm so like different, and they use me as kind of like PwC, the company I work for. They had me quite a lot on their socials. doing a lot of campaigns and stuff. Yeah,
I remember. This was on was it October, Black History Month? They wanted me to do, and I had an issue because, funny enough, this is definitely not going in. I was going through something. They knew I was going through something in the workplace, and they didn't give a fuck. They wanted me to give a Black History speech about what great place this is to work and stuff like that. And I was thinking that is just so tone deaf to everything that I'm actually experiencing right now, man. Yeah, man. So wait, how are you finding motherhood?
Tiring.
What, more so now with the two?
Yeah, with two. I think because of how young my daughter is, in it. But as she's getting older, it's getting easier. So I would say this week I'm like,
which one is the more troublesome one?
The older one. She's a toddler.
Yeah,
she's
the young one looks calm. Yeah. That's a good baby from what I've seen.
Everybody
anyway.
says she's an amazing baby.
Yeah, but then again, obviously
they're changing their personality, innit?
Yeah, plus you might not get your camera out when she's being bad, isn't it? But yeah, man, they just seem like mad, calm.
They're good kids.
Yeah, proper calm children. What? Okay, you said you don't plan on having any new ones now. So, like, just going forward now, we'll just wrap up. But what do you think life looks like for you, like in the next 5 years, isn't it?
So I'm 31 now. 5 years, by God's grace, I'll be 36.
Okay. By God's grace.
Yeah, good stuff to say that, innit? I don't know. Like I hope to keep on excelling in my career. I hope to continue being a good mum. As for love relationships, I don't know. I don't know if I'll intimidate people. I have no clue.
But in terms of like, what does career looking better look like to you? Is it more money, or right now is it?
This is what I'm thinking, because I'm like, I can easily get £700 a day minimum as an engineer, or I can make 200k as a partner, which is not the same. I feel like at this moment in time,
which one's even higher? I can't even do the math.
So
7.
It depends if it's inside or outside, but 700 a day is basically like 7k a month after tax.
Okay.
Yeah, and partner starts at a minimum of a 250k salary, which is about maybe 8 to 9k a month. Maybe.
Yeah, and I've been reading some of the financial statements when you look at the payouts that each fucking partner gets. So
I'm just like, I would like to go to partner.
You have to though. You're so young now that it has to be done.
If I made AP at 31,
it has to be done. And I feel like certain times you feel like you might benefit from a bit of what's the word? Like a trophy almost of your organization. Got like a diversity like a diversity trophy certain times. Like, obviously you do great work, but it's like, oh, she does great work, but look, guys.
Yeah. Like I have a couple organizations, funny enough, messaging me this year, like, hey, we've just noticed you, like, you're doing stuff. Like, I don't know. We'll just see how it goes, isn't it?
No, it has to happen, because if you don't get someone that's 31, that's basically an associate partner at 31 years old, now not making partner ever, then you know that the system's rigged.
Yeah, I'll see how it goes. Maybe
beautiful,
I'll come
man.
Back to you.
Well, lovely having you. I would love to have you on again.
We have to man. Again.
And plus, you just seem like a lovely person, wonderful person, and somebody that I would just love to connect with naturally, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man. Beautiful family as well, man. Those kids, man.
What's up with? I thought I was just biased because they're my kids.
Yeah, they're so adorable, man.
Yeah, I just thought I was always just biased because they're my kids in it, so I always think they're beautiful. But
yeah, they are, man. Anyway, help yourself with the banana.
Tell you what's changed right now. In a different field, different lane right now. Now I'm in the mud, switching lanes right now. Passive income getting paid right now. Used to roll around with sinners, bulldozers and killers. Now we focused on figures. 3-course meals for dinners, 5-star suites and villas. Now the swag hit different, cause the bag is different. The tab is